welcome back to my channel, Live and Laugh with Linda, and today I am in the kitchen cooking up some good old beef stew. Hey, let's get on in there and let's get to the video, y'all. It's gonna be good. Okay, y'all, so I'm ready to make Linda's famous beef stew, whatever. It's a good staple and we really love it in our family. All right, so here's the ingredients that you are gonna use for a big crock pot. And when I say big, I've got a big one like this. I don't even know how many quarts this is, but it's gonna fill it right on up. I go ahead and get about 2 pounds of stew meat. You can get ever how much you want. I use one container here, 32 ounce of beef stock. You can use that if you want, or you can use your bouillon cubes, just whatever you like. I use one small tomato paste, and I use that to taste. I'm a big to taste cooker, y'all. I really am. I taste as I go. I will tell you measurements, but you got to taste and see if you need to add a little pinch of this, a little pinch of that. That's how I do. All right, and then here I'm going to put an onion. I'm going to chop one onion. I don't have to chop it too tiny small because it's going to cook forever and it'll really be good. And then I'm going to put some gold potatoes in, just in case you didn't know. As far as potatoes go, for those of you who think about sugars and glycemic levels like we have to do, I learned this when I was at a holistic clinic for a while there. But anyway, gold potatoes are the lowest in glycemic value. So if you can, use your gold. They're real good and buttery tasting too. So anyway, I'm going to put about this many. You can put as many as you want. I'm only going to put about 3 carrots up in there. That's about all I'm going to want. You can put green beans. You can put whatever you want. Now, I do use a seasoning, and here's where I keep it in my handy dandy container. It's about out. And I got it, being honest, off of a Paula Deen cookbook. And I don't think she'd mind if I shared it because she puts it in her cookbooks. It's called Paula Deen's House Seasoning. And what it is salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And it is 1 to 4, I think. So I make a big thing of it, and I put a cup of salt, 1/4 cup of pepper, 1/4 cup of garlic powder, and you just shake it all up. And I use this for everything. So I'm going to do about 1/2 tablespoon, but you got to be careful about, because this has got salt in it. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stew meat, and even though it is very lean, I'm a fat freak. I mean, really, I cannot stand fat on my meat. So I'm going to trim some of that off of there, and then we're going to slap it right in the pot. All right, I'll be back. Okay, y'all, here I go. Now, I don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen prepping and all that because if you haven't already noticed by now, I have severe arthritis in my hands. So I have to, whatever work I do, it's painful to do these kind of things. So I get it done as quick as possible. My husband helps me a great deal, and I'm real thankful for that. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time cutting it perfect and right, so I don't consider myself a chef or a proper cook or anything. I just get it done. I'm a good old home cook girl. My specialties have been meatloaf and mashed taters and things like that. So I'm going to get this done as quick as I can and move on to the next step. And here we are at the next step. I'm going to grab these carrots. Look here, y'all. I just use fresh carrots. I don't peel them too much because the peels aren't, if you wash them real good, the peels are good for you and also helps my hands. All right, so I'm going to cut them in pretty big chunks because carrots take a long time to cook. And I really love the taste of carrots. You can use frozen if you want to or anything like that. Just remember when you're crock pot cooking, put them in later because they will mush up. And you don't want that. But do put carrots in. It adds a real nice sweetness. Now, after I get all these cut up in pretty big chunks, because I'm going to put them in at the beginning, because it's going to cook forever. And really gives it a lot of time to get that done. And now on to my gold potatoes. Y'all, I do not ever peel gold potatoes. Number 1, we don't mind eating the peels, and they've got a lot of good nutrition in them. Number 2, It is a harder peel because they're very thin peels and it is more difficult on my hands. And number 3, I'm probably just too lazy. All right, so anyway, I'm going to cut them in pretty big chunks because, again, I don't want them to mush up. And I will not put these in till later. I'll come back and check as it cooks. I'm home today, so this is going to be an all-day cook instead of putting the crock pot on high. But you can certainly put it on high and leave the house and come back and all that, and it'll be just fine. I'm cutting out those bad spots that are here and there, and it doesn't take very many to, you don't want it to be a potato stew with a beef flavor. You want it to be beef, bold beef flavor, thick, brothy beef stew with some vegetables added. The day I made this, I did not have any green vegetables on hand. We had not been to the store, so that's why there's not any green vegetables in it. All right, now moving on to my onion. I only put 1 onion in there. If you love onions, put whatever you need to put in there. Again, I'm just going to get this done. I don't worry about how little the chunks can be because they're going to cook up to nothing and give a wonderful, wonderful flavor. So I'm going to get that done and get it all in there. If need be, you can use onion soup mixes if you want to. You just got to watch that salt because that's full of salt and stuff. Or minced onions if you want. I've done that a lot, particularly with my hand situation. All right, I think I'm about ready to get this show on the road. All right, I've got it all dumped in there, and now I'm going to start seasoning. I'm picking up my house seasoning right here. I said I have a tablespoon, but I know me and I know us, and that's not going to cut it. So I'm going to throw another one in there for a total of 1 whole tablespoon. And listen, we love flavor. Do what you need to do. Always taste as you go. I'll come back and taste it in a bit. Okay, so then I'm going to grab up my beef broth. I'm going to put a whole carton in there, 32 ounce. Like I said, if you use bouillon cubes or whatever, you want that liquid level to be about where you see I've got it. And then you're going to kind of measure that out like that when you're cooking it. And then I'm going to put in this small can of tomato paste because, y'all, there's something magical about tomato paste and beef broth. It just makes it so rich and flavorful. You don't want to put too much because you don't want it to get into the Italian flavor and kind of feel, because this is not what I want. I want a good, strong beef flavored broth that's thick. And if you use the tomato paste, you're not going to have to thicken it with anything. So I'm going to stir that up, give it a really, really good stir. I'll come back in a little bit and give it a taste after it gets to cooking to see if I need to add anything. But I'm going to give it a real good stir. And then I'm going to set it aside and get ready. Now, these potatoes I'm not going to put in till later. So I'll come back and do that after a while. I'm going to put those, by the way, into some ice water in the fridge so they won't turn. Okay, I popped the lid on. I'm going to put it on high to start with because I like to get it going. I'll come back in about an hour when it's good and hot and turn it on low because I just like to get her going and then turn it down. And I'll check it periodically. I'll get back with y'all. Look at this. Okay, it's starting to thicken up nicely. Just a little bit. This is only this is like an hour and a half later. And I'm going to stir it. I'm going to taste. So I ended up putting 2 more beef bouillon cubes in and 1 more small can of tomato paste after I had tasted it because I really thought it needed it. All right, y'all. It's looking good. Those potatoes have been cooking. It's getting really nice and thick. I'm so excited. It is just going to be delicious. I've been tasting and cooking. And we're coming up on the finished product. Here we are with the finished product. I have a big old bowl right here of my delicious beef stew that is so nice and thick. I love a thick broth when I'm having stew. I don't want soup. I want stew, and I'm just so pleased with how this turned out. All the vegetables are gently cooked, And I've got my piece right here of some good old Southern biscuit bread to go with it. This is gonna be tasty. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed making it. We sure enough did enjoy eating it. And we got a lot of good meals off of that beef stew. We got 3 good meals and I got to freeze some up. So I'm gonna put that biscuit bread recipe cooking video up very soon. And I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, find something to smile about today. Y'all be blessed. Bye now.